snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books.
Hi guys! So I am here today to do a book haul for you. I had two things happen recently that meant I got lots of books. The first thing was a massive booktuber meetup that happened in London, and this was in August, and I have to say I just had a whale of a time meeting up with everyone. There were some people that I'd met before, like Mercedes and Eleanor and all my lovely friends that I already have, and then there were some people that I'd never met before or that I'd only recently started talking to, but I became friends with them super quickly, so they were added along, and it was just really, really fun. And we had a great time going around some bookshops, all sorts of our usual haunts in London, and also going and ending up in the Waterstones bar at Piccadilly, which was fabulous fun. We had a great time there, chilling and chatting and drinking and more chatting, lots of chatting. It was really, really good, and I actually was such a good book buyer that day because I have been kind of trying not to buy too many books just because of how many I already own and I need to get through some of them. So I actually only bought 2 books on that day, which I'm so proud of myself for doing. I did actually come away with 4 books from that day because I gave some of my books I wasn't going to read again to some of my friends, and they in exchange gave me some of the books that they didn't want anymore. So I'll show you guys what I got from that in a second. The other thing that happened was that I had lunch with the lovely Stevie. I will link her down below. She works for Gollancz. She hooked me up with some books from them, so I have a good old haul of Gollancz and Orbit titles that I'm going to show you that I was given today. So they're all in this bag, and you can see it's got a little Gollancz logo in the middle of the robot. This is also a bag that she gave me. It's really, really cool. I'll show you the other side if I can. Oh, it's so heavy! This is the other side. It's all about Gollancz Fest. This is obviously the 2015 Gollancz Fest. If you guys don't know what Gollancz Fest is, you totally should check it out because it is a festival that Gollancz are putting on each year, and they have some of their biggest authors, so I believe like Scott Lynch and people are going this year, and Bradley Bolio and some of the others that they publish, so I'll link it down below if you guys don't know what it is. I am actually planning to be going on the Sunday, so I'm really excited about it. I'm going with Eleanor and a few other people hopefully, and there are some great events on the Saturday that I can't go to and I'm really bummed about because there are some great authors going to be there. I have a chocolate making workshop with my mum that day. It was a Christmas present that she bought me and we've only just got around to booking it. So it's the weekend of the 17th and 18th of September. It's fairly soon. If you want to go, you should book tickets. I think there are still some left, and definitely if you're in or around London or you can make it down for that weekend, check it out and book it if you like fantasy, because I think it's going to be wonderful fun. So I'll link that below. The bag just reminded me about Gollancz Fest, and then I went off on a complete tangent. Oh yes, I'm doing a haul. Okay, let's get started. First things first, the 2 books that I bought for myself on the Booktuber meetup. The first one I got was actually a graphic novel. It is this one. It is called Butterfly Gate, and it's by Benjamin Reed and Chris WILDGOOSE. If you guys have watched my channel before, you know that this team are the people who created Porcelain, which is a graphic novel that I absolutely adore, and it's an ongoing series. There's going to be a volume 3 sometime soon-ish, I hope. This is another series that they are starting. It's a super short one, so like look, it's really, really short, and it's actually all told through pictures. There's no text in this. It is all a silent story, which is really, really cool. I think you guys know that I love The Arrival by Shaun Tan, and this is not at all similar, but it's all told in the same style, so it's like told in pictures rather than words, which is really, really cool. I'll show you guys some of the artwork within. It's very brutal, so just be aware there are things like this in much gorier detail, but it's also incredibly beautiful because the artwork style always is with this team. Like I say, it's not a long book. It really did not take me very long to get through. I think I spent about 25-30 minutes maybe actually reading it, but then I went back and sort of pored over the pages again because there's a lot of little details to take in, and it's just beautiful. I'm really excited about where this could go. It's definitely bloody though, so if you don't like bloody stuff, you probably want to steer clear. If you do, maybe one to check out. It's kind of a cross between science fiction and fantasy because there is travelling to another world and there's also all of these crazy things that go on there. So definitely one to look out for if it appeals to you. I'll link their website below because I'm not sure that you can find their stuff in most places. A lot of the time when I recommend their stuff, people can't find it, so I'll link their website below so that you can find it if you are interested in picking up some of their stuff. I think they are a phenomenal team and you should definitely go and check them out. The next one I picked up is this one, and this one I got in Forbidden Planet, and this is called The Summer Dragon and it's by Todd Lockwood. Now I'm not going to lie, a large attraction of this book to me is that Todd Lockwood is actually an illustrator as well as an author now, and he has illustrated various different fantasy books and covers, and he's actually illustrated his own book too. I think I saw Che from Che Adventure and a few other people talking about this a while ago and saying that they were really excited about it and tweeting some of the illustrations and stuff. I just kind of had to get it. I mean, it is beautiful. This sticker is really, really driving me up the wall, so I'm going to have to take it off because it's so ugly. Much better, much better. Look at the illustration on this. It is so good. Like, so seriously good. Oh, wow, look. The first page has this illustration. It's so good. And then within the actual book there are loads. A dragon! Straight away. So basically it's illustrations and it's dragons, and that's all I really needed to know, and I don't really know anything else about it, so let's read a little bit off the blurb. Maya and her family raise dragons for the political war machine. Maybe not so good. As she comes of age, she hopes for a dragon of her own to add to the stable of breeding parents. But the war goes badly, and the needs of the dragonry dash her hopes. Her peaceful life is shattered when the Summer Dragon, one of the rare and mythical high dragons, makes an appearance in her quiet valley. The Summer Dragon is an omen of change, but no one knows for certain what kind of change he augurs. Political factions vie to control the implied message, each to further their own agendas. And so, Maya is swept into an adventure that pits her against the deathless horrors, thralls of the enemy, and a faceless creature drawn from her fears. In her fight to preserve everything she knows and loves, she uncovers secrets that challenge her understanding of her world and of herself. That sounds pretty intense. It's just really beautiful, basically, so I kind of just had to have this. I hope I like it. I'm fingers crossed think I will. I think this is a fairly recent release. I think it came out not too long ago. I don't believe it's actually published very widely in the UK because this is a Door title and they are a US publisher, so I think Forbidden Planet just had some of their stock over here, so maybe look online if you want to get this one. But I am super excited because I'm always on the hunt for more dragony books, as you guys know, and this one sounds like it could be a pretty cool one with the combination of illustrations and pretty awesome dragon stuff. Moving on now to the two books that I was given by my friends. The first one is this one. It is called Sea of Poppies and it's by AMITAR GHOSH, and it was actually shortlisted for a Man Booker Prize in 2008, so I'm guessing it's fairly literary. I saw the cover of this, Jenny gave it to me, and I have to say it's absolutely beautiful the whole way round, so I'm super glad I have it. And the end papers are just stunning. So it says, on an old slaving ship named Ibis, fate has thrown together a truly diverse cast of Indians and Westerners. The motley crew of sailors, coolies and convicts includes a bankrupt Raja, a Chinese opium addict, a lissom French runaway and a mulatto freedman from Baltimore. As their old family ties are washed away like their historical counterparts, they come to view themselves as Jahij Bahis, or ship brothers. An unlikely dynasty is born which will span continents, races and generations. Blimey, that was a bit of a mouthful, but it does sound good, so I don't know when I'm going to have time for this big epic book, but I feel like if I feel like dipping into a literary read, this could be one to go for. It definitely sounds like it's going to be a pretty interesting one, and I mean that cover though. The next book I have is another one that I was given, and I will say before I show you this that I do not agree with the author and his way of living his life at all, and the views that he shouts about at all, so just bear that in mind. This is Ender's Game. It's by Orson Scott Card. I have read one other book by Orson Scott Card called Pathfinder a while ago. I liked it. I definitely am interested in his stuff, but he's an author that I don't really want to support by buying his books just because of how very vocal he is about the views that I strongly disagree with. I managed to get this one in trading. I managed to trade a book with my friend and got this one off of her, which is good. Ender's Game, I have seen the film of Ender's Game, but I've heard from a lot of people that the film is terrible and the book is much better. I'm very intrigued about how different the book is from the film, so I want to read it at some point. It's not too long. It's about a young boy who goes to school. Basically, he goes into training to fight against aliens, and a big war and battle kind of comes up. So it's pretty cool from the film. I'm wondering what the book will be like. Now, moving on to all of the books that I was given from Gollancz, so thank you to Stevie for giving all of these to me so that I can review them. Let's get started. The first one, and one of the very exciting ones that I have, is this one. It is Terry Pratchett's Discworld colouring book. Now, you guys know Terry Pratchett is an author I've only read a few books by, but I really, really enjoy his stuff, and I have a lot of his books on my unread shelf that I am planning to get to at some point. He is bizarre, he is wacky, he's wonderful, he's just an excellent storyteller, and his books are so fun to read. So, of course, when she offered me this, I did not pass it up. I was very eager to see what they would do and what characters they would pick out for the colouring book. I think there are some quotes, there's the chest, so lots of these are very big images that you can colour, and some smaller ones as well. Witches are not by nature gregarious, at least with other witches, and they certainly don't have leaders. Granny Weatherwax was the most highly regarded of the leaders they didn't have, and I'm guessing this is her, but it's just really wonderful. His quotes are always wonderful, and some of the pictures are just really bizarre and wacky, so it's going to be quite a fun one to colour in, I don't doubt. So the next one I have is this one. It is Sharp Ends, and it's by Joe Abercrombie. I believe this is a short story collection set in the world where he sets most of his books, the First Law world, which is where the First Law books are set, obviously. And I've read the first two in the First Law series. I have the third, and I've been meaning to read it for a long time, so I think this will give me the nudge to do so. I definitely need to read this one and that one, and hopefully I'll like them a lot. I really enjoyed the first one and the second one when I read it. I've heard great things about this, so fingers crossed I like it too. The next one I have is one I've had on my Kindle for ages and just have not got around to reading, so now I have the paperback. It's going to give me the incentive to actually get to it and remember that I own it. It is The Passage by CRONIN. I am super intrigued by this series. It has been an ongoing series for a very long time, but the third and final one just came out, so I'm super, super intrigued. I believe it's kind of a bit horror in style, but actually I think it's going to be quite an interesting one. Stevie said to me she doesn't really read much horror, but she still really enjoyed it, so I'm hopeful that the same will be said for me. 962 pages, so it's definitely a humongous book, and there are two more to come. The next one I have is a YA title. This is Fire, and it's by KRISTIN CASHORE. I've not read any KRISTIN CASHORE before, but I've been meaning to, so I'm definitely interested. I believe this is the second one in the Graceling series, but it's actually a prequel, so she said I could start with this one. It says, Fire's exceptional beauty gives her influence and power. People who are susceptible to it will do anything for her attention and her affection, but beauty is only skin deep, and beneath it Fire has a human appreciation of right and wrong. Aware of her ability to influence others and afraid of it, she lives in a corner of the world away from people, not only to protect them but also to protect herself from their attention. I like this lady. She's badass on the front of this, so that is pretty interesting. The next one I have is The Ship, and this is by Antonia HONEYWELL, and this says, Welcome to London, but not as you know it. Oxford Street burned for 3 weeks. The British Museum is occupied by ragtag survivors. The Regent's Park camps have been bombed, and the Nazareth Act has come into force. If you can't produce your identity card, you don't exist. Lala, 16, has grown up sheltered from the new reality by her visionary father, Michael Poole. But now the chaos has reached their doorstep. Michael has promised to save them. His escape route is a ship big enough to save 500 people, but only the worthy will be chosen. What is the price of salvation? And I am so immediately drawn to the cover of this one. It really is absolutely beautiful. Plus, apparently this has a little bit of crossover into genre fiction with the sort of dystopian elements. I'm quite excited about this. I definitely think that Stevie sold me on this one because she's already read it and she said it was really good, so I'm hopeful that I will think the same. The next one I have is a George R.R. Martin book called Fever Dream, which is apparently his vampire book. I did not even know that George R.R. Martin had a book about vampires. Now I do. It says, a bloody tale of horror and hope. Abner Marsh has had his dearest wish come true. He has built the Fever Dream, the finest steamship ever to sail the Mississippi. Abner hopes to race the boat someday, but his partner is making it hard for him to realise his ambition. Joshua York puts up the money for the Fever Dream, but now rumours have started about the company he keeps, his odd eating habits and strange hours. As the dream sails the great river, it leaves in its wake one too many dark tales until Abner is forced to face down the man who helped his dreams become reality. I understand the little porthole thing now. That's interesting. Definitely can't wait to get into this one, see how George Martin writes on other stuff. Obviously, you guys probably know that I love Game of Thrones and I really enjoyed the books. The next one I have is Roboteer by Alex Lamb, which I'm pretty sure that Eleanor might have recently picked up. Let me know if that's true, Eleanor. One species, one universe, two sides. The human race has spread to the stars. Those few who live in the wastes of space have been forced to adapt themselves with technology and genetic modification. For the billions left on Earth, trapped in squalor and gripped by a new religious fervour, those who have tampered with the human form are heretics, and so the unequal war begins. The Earthers have deployed a devastating new weapon. Only one Outworlder ship can be spared to investigate this new threat, and on board, his mind linked to the ship's drones and weaponry, is their brand new Roboteer. What they will find will change the universe and the human race forever. Definitely sounds exciting. Sounds like it could be a sort of science fiction that I could get into because it doesn't sound too hardcore. Hopefully, we'll see. I'm definitely intrigued. I do think this cover is really creepy because I think this looks like a big sort of woodlouse. Maybe that's just me. Anyway, that's what I see. Let me know what you see on this cover. Is it a woodlouse? Is it a beetle? Is it a spaceship? No one knows. That is everything for this haul. It was a bit of a long one, but lots of exciting books. Let me know down below which ones you are excited for me to read, or if you have read any of them yourself and what you thought of them. I would love to hear from you guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!
Thank you for watching my video today. Go pick up a book, then come back and chat with me again.